Hey everybody, welcome to College Street. We're here because we're going to introduce the Marlin traffic management system. Behind us we can see the intersection at College and St. George. This is a traditional intersection that incorporates traditional technology. It's either timed or the traffic flow is controlled by sensors. Now at various times during rush hour, this street can back up and so can the adjacent streets. Now, imagine you had a system that where the intersection actually on a real-time basis responded to the traffic on each street and could actually talk to intersections in the immediate area. This could actually be implemented throughout the whole City of Toronto traffic grid. We're going to explain 3 business models that could be used to implement the Marlin system in any municipality in North America. The first model is a manufacturing model. The second model is a service management model, and the third is a build, own, operate model. In the next segment, we're going to introduce these 3 models, tell you about the business model canvas, and on we go. Hi guys, here we are with Phil and Dave. They're 2 of the business model developers, and yeah, why don't you just tell me a bit about how you came up with the models themselves.
Yeah, to develop these business models, we used the Osterwelder business model canvas. And this canvas is split into 9 different segments, and it has important factors such as value proposition, customer segments, key activities, key resources, and other important things. So using this canvas, we developed 3 different models. Actually, we have the manufacturing only model, the service management model, as well as the build, own, operate model.
Well, the manufacturing only model, like, is that kind of the model we'd all be used to? Like, you manufacture it and you sell it to your customers?
Exactly, yeah. It's the basic no frills, just exactly where back in the old days, just make the product, sell it, and there's all your revenue. We would also intend on providing a maintenance service in case there's an issue. I mean, we did build it. But in this model, we're not going to manufacture every part. We're going to have people that manufacture the different parts. We're going to have electronics manufacturers. They would send us the material and we would assemble it and then sell that product to the customer in this case. In this case, our customers are always going to be some kind of municipality, city, or some kind of government entity, including national. So yeah, regardless, they're all gonna, that's how that model works. It's just sell it straight to them. We take no risk in operating the system, just sell it to them.
So the second model, the service management model, is it going to have the same customer base? How is that model different?
Well, actually, it's completely different from the manufacturing only model. Even though we do have the same customer segments, we do approach municipalities with our services. But instead of manufacturing these parts, we have nothing to do with that side. The cities are assumed to already have these infrastructures installed on their lights, and what we do is we take all the data from them and store in a cloud-based system, and we do data analysis and data management. From these, we can provide monthly or yearly reports of how efficient their systems are running, how well optimized their traffic networks are, or even how they compare to other cities.
So part of the value proposition with the service management model would be that they might not have the technical knowledge or resources to run the system themselves, so we're giving that to them, right?
Exactly. We have the knowledge. We have very intelligent people working with us, and we're gonna help them, guide them through step by step. We provide them with the software that they require, and we can send people in to do any customer service issues, any IT issues that they have, and help them, perfect their system.
Back to the hardware though, in both these models, the client, they own infrastructure themselves. Is the build, own, operate model different?
Yeah, so with the build, own, operate model, we own everything and we run everything. We would provide both the installation, the actual manufacturing of the product, and we would run everything for them. So it takes a lot of stress off of our customer, but it puts a lot of risk on us in terms of operational costs. It's hard to predict those without having done it before, and because we would want to do contracts with our customers, and we provide a flat fee service, it means that if our costs fluctuate too greatly, we could be looking at lost margins and lost revenues in such a case, right?
Well, sounds like because you're taking so much risk, customer relationships, long-term customer relationships would really be important with this business model.
Absolutely. You would, we would be looking into long-term contracts, and we would be providing them personal service for sure, and customizing systems to their needs. And we would be very, very attentive to their needs in such a case, because we do need long-term contracts for that kind of situation, because it would be an almost entirely service-based, or service fee, subscription fee kind of system. So yeah, we need them as long as possible. We need to have a good relationship.
How does research and development fit in? Are you guys going to try to improve the network and the models over the long-term contracts going further?
Absolutely. Yeah. At all times, we're going to be looking into research and development. If we fall behind, we lose customers for sure. And it's actually a big part of every single one of the business models is research and development. We want to be cutting edge, and we need to be cutting edge. We can't just be providing a basic system and not keeping up with new needs, for example.
And every municipality is different, so we need to be on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, just like you say, I recognize that every municipality is different. They have different needs, they have different sizes, different geographical locations, different financial structures. Can you speak to maybe what sort of municipalities would be a match with the 3 different business models you were speaking of?
Yeah, with the build, own, operate model, that'd be very effective for a smaller municipality without a lot of resources in traffic management. What we can do is we get in there, we install these sensors on their traffic lights, we service these sensors, we maintain them, and we do all the data analysis and management. And that way, these municipalities don't have these resources, are without any concern for who's going to run my system now, because we go in there, we do everything for them. Versus somewhere like a much bigger city like Toronto, where they might have the enough resources to do the data analysis and management. So all they might want are the infrastructures, and that's where we can come in with our manufacturing only model, provide them with the sensors for their lights. We will go and maintain them when required, but all the data analysis and management will be done by them.
Oh, okay. What about the pros and cons of each model? I know they're a little bit different. Just go a little bit further with that.
So for the model, like the manufacturing model and our build, own, operate model, because we're manufacturing in both those cases, we're dealing with having to own facilities that do the assembly. So we're looking at large upfront costs. Whereas for a model like the service management model, smaller upfront costs, and you can, it's much less costly in that case, and we can get it started earlier, and then we can build as needed kind of thing. And then as for risk, which is kind of one of the bigger points that we were interested in, at least when we were doing the whole development, is actually with the manufacturing model, we take very little risk. We put the risk almost entirely on the customer for operation sense, at least. So they're going to have to deal with possible cost increases or unknown costs in that case. Whereas for both the service situation and the build, own, operate situation, we take on the risk. In one, we take on more risk than the other, but that's because we're running it, and we're providing a long-term flat fee contract. So if there's cost fluctuations and they're too great, we could be looking at significantly decreased revenues. So.
Well, you've convinced me that there's a ton of potential with the Marlin system for cost savings for a municipality. How are you going to convince them? How are you going to make the business case that they should be implementing this when cost for municipalities, it's a political landscape that's not necessarily, it's hard to push these things through. Are there any benchmarks that exist, or could you create any to make that case to them?
So a couple options we've been looking at are, there are simulations that have been done with the Marlin system. In Toronto, there's actually also a couple lights that are already installed, and they're running they're analyzing how it's adjusting traffic flows. So with that, we do have some data. Again, simulation data, a little rough. So one other option is to continue offering trials, which is where we're at right now, where we're considering. With the business models we have, we would offer trial situations so that the customers could see the improvement in the traffic, and we would also get the benefit of getting that data and being able to use it in our own sales and in our own just data and research kind of area.
All right. Well, there we have it. Thanks, guys, for coming in, especially around the holidays. I know it's a busy time.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
There we have it. We have 3 business models, recognizing that our customer base has different needs and different operational capabilities. We recognize that each of these business models have different pros and cons, so for us to be successful, we're going to have to stay flexible into the future. Let's get traffic moving.